say on Never Fitness, we're going to cover, am I really a trainer? And that's something you need to ask some of these guys sometimes, because they always don't look the part. Like, look at this guy. I'm not saying he couldn't be qualified. He got his little certs or whatever. But my problem with all this is, anybody can be a trainer nowadays. All you have to do is pass a test. Let's face it. If you're book smart, cool, you can pass the test. But the hard part is now, where for me, you would have to look the part. You would have to look like you can. Like, if I go to a trainer, say I'm going to a trainer. Now, I'll show my picture here in the video pretty soon. You'll see what I look like. Now, I'm at around bodybuilding. If you look at it bodybuilding way, I'm at like 20%. Between 25 and 20%. Now, technically, I'm not a bodybuilder. I could if I went down in size. But I never really, I could have competed, because I had training partners. When they would go down, I would go down. But I had a limit where I would go down. I'd go down to maybe 12 or 10. And but I didn't want to compete like that, because, that's half-assed, and I didn't want to do that. But I would train like that. But if I wanted to go training, I would seek out a professional bodybuilder, or who they seek out their trainers to train how I want to train. I wouldn't train like the guys I showed you earlier, because they may have the knowledge, but I want somebody who has the knowledge and who actually has been through the fire, who's been through the testing, who's been tested. Because if you know, getting down to 10%, excuse me, folks, getting down to that level of body fat, it's not a pleasant experience, and not what you got to go through. I don't care if you're natty or not, same thing. Except natty takes a little bit longer. There's not much to diet. I can do the diet. There's not much about the supplements, quote unquote, because I can do those. I get to the point where, for me, I have a nice career, and the money's decent. And I'll be like once you get down past 10%, try to get down to 5%, then you know what you got to do to get down to that. And I was like, screw this. I don't have to do this. So it wasn't like I wasn't motivated enough to do it. And also, you have to be selfish in this sport, in this bodybuilding sport. It has to be you. You can have other interests, but you got to live a real bland life. You got to eat bland, kind of. Because unfortunately, for a lot of you guys, the drugs aren't the key. Yeah, there are drugs out there that can do that, but you guys aren't. Some of you aren't bright enough to understand the point where too much is going to kill you. So the diet wasn't bad. It's the diet when I'm cutting down. If I would have to cut down from 10 to 5, that would kill me. So like I said, I played athletics. I played football. So the diet's nothing, no problem. It's like I said, it's the diet, and the bodybuilding diet. It's going from 10 to 5. Even if you're a natural, you cannot maintain between 10 and 5% body fat long. I don't care what anybody says. Their estrogen will kick down and kick out. It would go to shits. They'll tell you something different, but it's not true. Even a natty has a problem with their levels if they go that low. And then more often than not, most natties had a little help. You know what I mean? If they didn't have it then, they had it before. They just kept the size. Now getting back to this topic about being a trainer. Who I train guys, maybe football players, athletes, and people who want to get a little bit more size and get some strength. I can do diets. I'm a level 1 dietitian, if you want to say it, from the American Sports Academy. I train with women. It don't matter to me. But as far as the dieting, to me, more dieting is just common sense. Like I said, I know how to get down to 10. For me, it'll be more or less getting down to below 10, and I go to another trainer. But a lot of these guys, you see them on YouTube and Instagram, they're bullshitting you. They're not telling you like what was that Gymshark challenge? What Gymshark isn't telling you that if those guys stay if those guys stay 10 and below for the year, think about it. They're not doing so. They'll tell you they're not doing anything. They'll just say you're lazy. And you're like, you could be busting your ass. You could damn near kill yourself. And you're like, how come they can do it? They'll give you that genetics bullshit. Where I know genetics has a part to do with it. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of it is they got some help to them. They got some help to themselves. So, as far as being a trainer, I look for somebody who wants my specific goals. Like if I was a regular person starting out, I wouldn't try to train to be Mr. Olympia because it's not going to get there within 2 to 5 years. And if you do, you're going to be a health case for the rest of your life. You're going to have so many problems. I would seek out somebody who would teach me how to lift correctly. Like I'll give you my story. Born in New York, moved to Pennsylvania, near the Pittsburgh area, which is a lot of football and all that. Everyone wanted to go. I wanted to play linebacker in college. High school, I messed around a lot. Didn't pay attention. So I got lucky. And I was supposed to go to a JUCO. It was a WVU JUCO. Their JUCO college, junior college. And I was going to play linebacker. And then I was going to go to WVU, West Virginia University, play linebacker. Well, what happened in the meantime, I was going to school, but I had an internship at a mill. This is back in the 90s. So I was thinking to myself, I was making great money, I ain't going to lie. So I decided to give up that dream, but I still lifted. So I just happened to wander in the gym, and I'm going to tell you something right now. I wandered in the gym. These guys, this is back in the 90s. If you're from anywhere from like the Northeast, Midwest type BS areas, not BS I should say, but the Midwest and Northeast, guys were like, didn't spare your feelings and lifting. My first time I went to the gym, they told me to get the fuck out. Then I got mad and I lifted, I got out, I came back. So they saw I was really willing to go through what I wanted to go through. So I had a lot of help. Free too, don't get me wrong. I had help from Americans. I partnered up with Germans and Russians. And that's how I maintained my size. But don't think that this size came overnight. Like I had the usual spurt, don't get me wrong, when you first start lifting. But if I had most of my lifts came from lifting heavy weight throughout the years. I'm not gonna lie to you. People will tell you don't have to lift heavy to get big, and you really don't. But you'll lose that muscle because all you're doing is it's like a balloon. You know how we pump the balloon with air? Once that balloon the air comes out. Once you're done lifting for a minute, the air comes out. That's why I'm not a fan of. I'm a fan of pump sets to a point, but the mainstay of your program should be heavy weights. Like I tell people, and that's how it built me. I'm having a problem right now. I can't lose weight unless I do. I mean, I can lose weight, but I can't lose. If you look at my picture, I can't lose all this size unless I can do like a bunch of cardio to kind of fuck myself. But as far as being a trainer, what you need to look for is somebody that will talk to you, go over a plan. You come up with a plan designed for your specific goals. You can't say, "Well, I want to look like the guys on Instagram." Well, number one, you don't know what the guys on Instagram are doing. You might not be willing to go that far to do what the guys on Instagram are doing. Your trainer, look, if you got like a Planet Fitness trainer or one of these like maybe family gym type deals, they probably don't know what's going on. If you're doing side bends for Christ's sake, your trainer doesn't know what you're doing. They're just milking you for that one. But if you go to like an established gym, like gym with like people who compete, and I'm not saying people who don't compete in power and Planet Fitness, because they do. I'm talking about, like, if you go to Planet Fitness and if you're bigger than the guy behind the desk, there's a problem. What you should do is go find somebody. Like, say you want to start off bodybuilding. What you do is you go find a specific, like maybe a beginner coach. You don't want to find a top-notch coach to start bodybuilding, because the reason you don't want to do this is you're going to pay a hell of a lot of money to find out something you could have found out from a guy who just quit and knows about it. He knows about it when he's younger. Talk about trainers like that, and you're paying more money for that. No, just go to somebody start with a local guy. Like I wrote a book, ebook to start off, because I used my knowledge. I used what people helped me with. Like I said, I was trained by Russians, Germans, and Americans. My favorite, like I said, for me, it's all about heavy weight and high volume. Like Jay Cutler and like the Germans, stuff like that. For me, it's just high volume. So what you need to find out is, like I said, don't rely so much on a cert, because how many pro bodybuilders and how many other coaches have a cert from like NASM or any other ones? A cert doesn't really matter. Cert, I mean, it's nice to have one for one of the schmucks out there to say, "Hey, I got a cert." bring them in. But a cert really doesn't mean anything, because like I said, I showed before, there's people out there who really look like those two kids that have certs. And you're going to believe them over, you're going to believe, let's say if I didn't have one, you're going to believe them over, you believe me? It's just the point of, you got to really know what you're talking about. You got to really know what you want. You really got to investigate. You really got to do yourself. You got to do your due diligence. So, this has been S.W. and Endeavor Fitness. I appreciate the views, and press the subscription button. Alright, thank you. I'm out.